What up, what up, what up? It's yours truly. I'm the one and only. I go by the name of Mr.Taliaferro. I want to thank you guys for rocking out with me thus far throughout the first 3 rounds of the 2020 NBA postseason. The bubble restart is what they call it. We are here at the NBA Finals, man. I am so excited. But before we talk about the finals, I want to send Miami to a place that the Los Angeles Lakers got to a day before. We want to get the Heat in the finals. They had to take care of business versus Boston, game 6. A lot of people think the Heat laid an egg in game 5. Could have took care of business, got an extra day or so of rest. We're at game 6. Jimmy Butler, Miami, looking to lead their team to the NBA Finals, taking on the Boston Celtics. Got to take care of business first before you can focus on the Lakers. That's next at hand. Let's get right into the highlight. I'm super excited. Let's check it out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mark Davis, the crew chief.
They went 2 for 2 against the zone. Miami's back to man-to-man.
Smart again from downtown.
I can't put this Miami. I can't put the Boston Celtics together, man. And I've tried over and over again to put this team together. All I can tell you is the team is flawed. They have trust issues. And that's really all I got for you, man.
Gets to the rim and finishes.
And congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's all I got for you. The Boston Celtics got trust issues.
Exceptionally well.
Iggy, nice little screen for Hero. Hero makes the pass to Duncan Robinson, who only shoots 3-pointers. Let's lock in here. Iggy scores. Iguodala drills the 3. Iggy had himself a game. Let's check out this box score. Ooh, Hero on one leg? No, you didn't. Yo, Tyler Hero can put the ball in the basket, man. I don't know if it's the confidence thing that's got Hero playing this well, Jimmy Butler. All I know is, bro, Tyler Hero's going to make a lot of money in the NBA. He's going to make a lot of money. The ability to shoot the ball like he can and put it on the ground. Hey, Tyler Hero is going to see $100 million in his career. It's a fact. As Goran Dragic drills 3, he's going to see $100 million. That's so valuable in today's game to be able to put the ball on the ground and shoot. I mean, hell, look at Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward's seen $100 million. And Tyler Hero, to me, is much more athletic than Gordon. And Smart drills the 3. He's longer than Gordon. I think a higher ceiling than Gordon Hayward. So, yeah. Perfect example. Smart. This dude's going to see maybe a couple $100 million. Tatum, beautiful pass inside to Daniel Tice for the deuce. Speaking of Daniel Tice, no disrespect to him. He played his behind off for Boston all year. Boston's going to have to address their big man situation. You pay Enes Kanter, and he can't play defense. Simple as that. Butler. Oh, good move. Yes, sir. He froze Brad Wanamaker. Freeze. Everybody clap your hands. Tatum over Iggy. That's Tatum's first field goal. You heard Jeff Green. Tatum doing the old, I'm going to start shooting in the Tatum doing the old, let me start playing basketball in the second quarter thing again. Iggy looking beautiful. Oh my goodness. Yo, Jimmy Butler's schooling these dudes with correct lane movement. Good floor spacing as Tatum throws it down. So what I do like about Tatum, if he has a bad quarter or a bad half, he takes it personal. We ain't gonna just have a bad game. We gonna get it together in the middle of the game. That's something special in that. Like, Tatum ain't gonna just have a whole bad game. A bad quarter, maybe a bad half. And I actually got an opinion on Jason Tatum having bad halves. I'll tell it to you guys after the highlight. I want to talk about Boston as their season about the nearest end here. I want to talk about Boston at the end of this. We got all the time in the world to talk about Miami and L.A. We got the final start on Wednesday. But I want to talk about Boston here because this is interesting. Oh, Bam. Bam had a great game. Adebayo, he blamed himself for the Game 5 loss that he'd had against Boston. Came out ready to ball in Game 6. Don't just tell me what you did wrong. Show me new behavior. Jaylen Brown. Tatum. Beautiful stroke. Beautiful. Kemba.
Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Has some room and hits Kemba Walker.
Beautiful.
A high arcing three-pointer.
I have some thoughts, man, on Boston,
Walker
man,
gets inside.
including Kemba Walker. Tatum.
Inside
Oh, beautiful.
dribble.
Yes, sir.
Williams throws it down.
Kemba
Kemba Walker gets free, drives and finishes.
to the cup for the deuce. Celtics take the 1-point lead here. Boston like not so fast. Hold on. We ain't going into the locker room down.
Butler.
Dragic, the Butler, the Bam.
Good passing.
Yes, sir. Miami led by 2 at the half. Third quarter we go. I'm a big Jaylen Brown fan. I got the pleasure of interviewing Jaylen Brown
Got hot from three-point range. Hit
last
four in the
year,
first half. This time gets in the paint.
and I'm very happy for his success.
Second effort for Marcus Smart.
Very happy for Jaylen Brown's success.
Boston, none for Miami.
Dragic.
Dragic tries to
No.
answer, gets
Actually,
right
it's a
down
yes.
off the soft touch. Duncan Robinson, the quick release.
Mhm.
The three-pointer. Jaylen Brown was right in his face.
Duncan Robinson for 3.
Smart on the drive. Dragic with him. Double clutch layup. He bangs
Marcus
it all
Smart
over.
goes and 1. It wasn't called, but it was a and 1.
Duncan
You know, say what you want about this Boston team. Marcus Smart plays his ass off, man.
Oh, Bam Adebayo now with 18.
He plays his ass off.
They're really not impacting.
Dragic the Bam. Yes, sir. It's going to get the roll because he's a big guy with touch. They're calling him the first ever point center. That's what they call him, Bam Adebayo. Dwight Howard with a handle.
Brown attacks the rim. Comes up short on the layup. Rebound. Back up. Won't go.
Wow.
Tice falls
Iggy,
down.
Butler.
pushes
Yeah,
back.
yes, man.
Throws it up and
See,
in.
man, Miami
Dragic
and the
pulling
passing ability and of knowing where your guy is supposed to be and just trusting that they're going to do their job, man.
three.
This team has only been together for a few months. And, I mean, they come together at the trade deadline. Jimmy Butler to Andre Iguodala for 3.
Andre Iguodala.
Iggy's lighting it up in the third. He had 15 points in the game. But think about Miami, right? They came together
But with this group for Boston,
at the trade deadline. You go out and get Iguodala, Jay Crowder,
on the offensive
right? So they put their final pieces together at the trade deadline.
To the ball.
Remember last year, they essentially they've traded out their whole offense. They ran a lot of their sets through Hassan Whiteside. They get rid of him. He goes to Portland. You bring in Jimmy Butler. Tyler Hero's a rookie. Duncan Robinson's young.
Can't hit the three.
Like, yo, look at how they fill the lanes. This is just a group of smart basketball players who hold themselves accountable. And they hold each other accountable, man.
To three.
It's a good game here. I can't say enough about this Miami team. As Marcus Smart with the steal, Flush City, we tied at 86. I can't say enough good things about Miami. I know I'm a Laker fan, but I got respect for Miami, man.
Brown. Jaylen Brown.
Oh, Jaylen Brown with the flush. He felt like he got clipped by Jimmy Butler on that play, too.
he actually
And he was right.
Marcus Smart.
But back to Miami real quick, man. You got a bunch of young guys, some couple veterans sprinkled in,
Jaylen Brown
and
takes it away.
man, do they just fill lanes correct. It is a pleasure watching these dudes play basketball.
6-point Celtic lead.
They play it the right way.
Now drives.
Robinson, Hero,
Good look for three.
beautiful, just filling your lanes and getting to a spot where you're going to be wide open. Miami got down in the fourth in this one. Boston made a run, but no one felt like Miami was out of this one.
Tyler Hero.
This is a smart team, man. Give Spoelstra and Pat Riley a lot of credit.
Adebayo drives
Oh, Bam down the lane.
and the flush.
You can get this smoke if you want it. You can get this smoke.
Wow.
And now Miami's starting to seize the confidence. They're up 1, 6:33 to go. Tatum's going to respond with a long 3.
Tatum from
But Miami's got that swagger, man. You can feel the game. After a big third quarter from Iguodala, Bam's going to step up here in the fourth. Look at that and 1.
dribble response by Miami.
Bam Adebayo. Watch the big fella work. The first ever point center is what they call him. Inside the Jimmy Butler. Oh, my goodness.
Tatum fakes, drives.
Tatum, beautiful move. Trying to keep Boston in this basketball game. Tatum had 24 points. Kemba Walker gave you 20.
That's good.
Uh-oh.
Robinson from down.
Duncan Robinson's getting it going. Duncan Robinson had 15. Dragic had 13. Tyler Hero, you about to see him get a bucket. He had 19.
Back shot is
Jimmy Butler gave you 22. You got 30. Oh my goodness, Tyler Hero, tough. 32 from Bam Adebayo to go along with 14 rebounds, 5 assists. Miami's making their final run. They about to put Boston season away. Bam. Let me get it back. I'm going inside to my guy, Jimmy B. Butler been all around the league. Multiple teams. A lot of people called out his leadership capabilities. Well, Miami loves him. They love the accountability. They like putting in the hard work. It's 119-104. And the Heat, how about it? It's hot in here. The Heat put away the Boston Celtics. Final score 125-113. You know what that means, people? It actually means two things. The Boston Celtics season is over. The Miami Heat, their fun is just beginning. They got a date against a guy by the name of LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. We have all the time in the world to talk about the Miami Heat. Before we go to Boston, I want to congratulate them on a great season. I'm a Laker fan. Obviously, you know where my heart's going to be at in the finals. But I have to admit, it is something special to watch Miami play basketball this year. It is something special, man. And the way they built that team, pretty much from the ground up, we go out and get a star in Jimmy Butler. Okay, great, but that's just one guy. He didn't come with a co-star. He came in, he got to work, he held guys accountable. But, you know, Jimmy had been around the map. He had been around guys that are a lot more talented than the teams that he's playing with in Miami. Take away Bam Adebayo from Miami, because Bam Adebayo's talent's off the wall. I've liked him ever since he was at Kentucky. I've always loved Bam. I knew he'd be great. But take away Bam. I mean, look at some of the guys that Jimmy Butler's played with over the last few years. He was in Chicago with an aging D-Wade, an aging Rondo. Okay, that's one thing. But then he goes to Minnesota. You know, Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns. Those guys are more talented than anybody else on that Miami roster. And I got respect for Tyler Hero, but if not named Bam, I'm taking Cat and Wiggins' talent, their talent, over anybody else on Miami. And there are a couple other guys that Miami's had that I could argue are more talented than most of the guys on that Heat roster. All right, it don't work in Minnesota. Okay, let's go to Philly with it. I go to Philly, and more of the same. I got Joel Embiid. That's an all-time talented big man. Joel Embiid's talent is all-time level. A 7'2" guy with the foot movement and the footwork that he's got. I got Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, I'm not going to say all-time level talent, but it is Magic Johnson-esque. And if Magic Johnson is one of the greatest of all time, I guess I'm kind of leaning towards Ben Simmons having all-time level talent. So I had Ben and Embiid in Philly. A couple other guys, too. I'm not just going to leave it short there. I had Tobias Harris, who's an all-star in this league. If he was in, you know, he's going to be an all-star in this league in the East. I'm looking at that roster, and I'm looking at what's present in Miami. I go to Miami. Let's call a spade a spade. Y'all know me. I'm going to keep it straight with y'all. He goes to Miami. He's got Bam Adebayo and a bunch of hard-working white dudes. Let's call a spade a spade. A bunch of hard-working white dudes. And we obviously know the stereotypes that are present with white guys in the NBA. They're unathletic. They just shoot. They don't play any defense. Bullshit. I'm watching Kelly Olynyk give it his all. I'm watching Goran Dragic play the best basketball of his career. I am watching Duncan Robinson. I just saw a text message from Duncan Robinson 3 years ago during his last year in college. He was texting one of his coaches, yo, I'm trying to see where my sports media degree is going to take me, because I know my basketball career is over. All right, now he's one of the best shooters in the NBA. Tyler Hero. People are thinking Tyler Hero's got a chance at making an all-star appearance in his career. That's crazy. That Jimmy Butler has gotten the most out of those guys because they respect what he brings to the table. That's what happens when you get around guys who don't just scream privilege. I'm talking about just don't scream, who willing to put the work in. You get around some of these guys who they make some all-star appearances. They've been touted as number one players throughout their lives, and they forget where they came from. They forget the element of hard work. You put Jimmy Butler in the room with those same guys, and he's bringing the most out of the guys who want to put the work in. Right? Look at that image. Let's be real about this one, right? Let's call a spade a spade. Joel Embiid, I know for a fact, comes from nothing. Put Jimmy Butler in the room with Embiid and Ben Simmons, and I don't want to be disrespectful to these guys, but, you know, Embiid and Ben not from this country. Embiid, I know, comes from nothing. I think Ben Simmons, his family was decent, decent to well off, something along the lines of that. Jimmy can't get the most out of them, right? You think Embiid, with his background, you think Embiid to be taking every moment of this thing called the NBA serious, his professional career. Didn't seem like that. As talented as he is, seems like he struggled with his health. It's, when Jimmy Butler was around, it felt like he wanted to be the best, but didn't put the work in to be the best. Put him in a room with Miami. Like I previously stated, some white guys who you think, okay, these look like some prissy white guys that look privileged. They ain't gonna put the work in. Now they just want to sit in the corner and shoot. Man, them dudes putting in the work. Bam Adebayo putting in the work. Give Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Dragic, all these dudes, Jay Crowder playing the best ball of his career right now. I gotta give Jimmy Butler a lot of credit, man. Maximizing his talent, maximizing his teammates, calling them out, and finding guys that are receptive. Trust and believe, Jimmy Butler ain't never going nowhere. Unless Miami opts to move on from Jimmy Butler, he ain't going no damn where. Because it's gonna be tough to find guys who are receptive to criticism. You make this money and you forget that you could be criticized. You're human. Congratulations to Miami. Now, I want to swing over to Boston, though, because Boston season is over. I'm not sure how many more times we're going to talk about the Celtics before next season. Celtics got question marks, man. They got some questions that need to be answered. Number one, for me personally, how does this team develop trust and chemistry? The assumption will be time. But if I'm Danny Ainge, it's like, yo, y'all want me to pay y'all while y'all grow. Because Tatum's getting paid this summer. And Tatum's going to want the big boy bag. All right? You already got Jaylen Brown on the contract. You paid Kemba Walker. You gave Enes Kanter a respectable contract. And he couldn't even stay on the court. I don't know how if Enes Kanter is this bad defensively, because think about it. There are not 14 centers in the NBA with more talent than Enes Kanter offensively. Think about what I just said. He's better than half the league on offense. And I just met Enes Kanter last summer as well. It's a good dude, by the way. He's better than more than half of the centers in this league on offense. Do you know how bad Enes has to be on defense? Because that's what this comes down to. In pick and roll, he's atrocious. He's atrocious on defense. Do you know how bad this man has to be on defense to be deemed unplayable, even though we just paid you last year? They couldn't play him. They had to give Daniel Tice his minutes because Kanter couldn't get it done. They even went with Grant Williams and Robert Williams over Kanter, the guy that you gave a sizable contract. Celtics got to figure out their big man. And not only do they need to go out and get a big man, but they need a big man that's going to help with the chemistry. They had a big man that, is now working for ESPN. He goes by the name of Kendrick Perkins. You need a guy like that. Kendrick Perkins averaged, maybe 4 or 5 points his entire career. Give you 10 rebounds. Bring some defensive intensity. They need to go find one of those guys. And I know they're not just a dime a dozen on the market, but they need to find one of those guys, man. An older veteran guy, probably around the age of 30, been around the league, has won, probably lost a lot as well. Won't take this moment for granted. Now, I don't know that gentleman's name off the top of my head. I'll think about it and come back to you guys. But they need a center that's going to kind of... Right now, I look at the Boston Celtics as a team that's got all the ingredients. They're missing one ingredient, though. They got all the ingredients but one. They're missing the egg. They keep putting all these beautiful ingredients in the back. They got the Pillsbury cake mix. They got the right flour. They got the milk. They got all that. They got all the flashy stuff too. Cake looks good. It's pink. It's moist. That top is the cake looks crazy when it's done. Without that egg, I don't care what you got. That thing ain't gonna taste right without that egg. And I think that the Boston Celtics are missing their egg. They got a lot of things right. And a lot of people are gonna be like, what about Kemba? Kemba wasn't great in the playoffs. He was not. But you pay Kemba that money. To me, it's not gonna get too much better than Kemba's personality, because you got to have a guy in there that's willing to allow Jason Tatum to be the one. And I do believe Kemba is fine with that. And one thing that I did see from Boston that I liked, like in this last game, I think Jason Tatum had 6-7 assists or something like that. The last few games, he was passing the ball at an elite level. I think the future of the Boston Celtics is Jason Tatum at point guard. I believe that. I believe the future of the Boston Celtics is Jason Tatum at point forward. I think he can do it. I think the more the ball is in his hands, the better this Boston Celtics team will be. I think it needs to be established. Because what I saw from Kemba was a guy that super talented, undersized, and probably needs to play off ball more. It seemed like he had his struggles at not only making plays for himself, but others in the playoffs. His field goal percentage throughout was bad. I think in the best interest of this Celtics team, I think they need to put Tatum on the ball more. Tatum on the ball more. And Kemba can have it in spots. But I think that Celtics offense is at its best with Tatum at the top of the key. That's my opinion. I love Marcus Smart. People are going to be like, just start Marcus Smart at point guard and trade Kemba. Nah, I don't believe that. Nah, because Smart, as good as he is, and as he plays harder than anyone on that court more times than not, there's a reason why he's not a starting point guard in this league. There's a reason why. All right? You give him that type of responsibility, I bet he fold. I want to use a football reference here real quick. Nick Foles, now of the Chicago Bears, the former starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, who actually won a Super Bowl for them a year or so ago. If you give Nick Foles the rock in spots, he can win you 3 games, even won you a Super Bowl. Make him the starting quarterback of your franchise, which teams have done multiple times, every time he folds. And I think Marcus Smart is similar. If Marcus Smart needs to be the best player on the court for about 6 to 8 minutes in a game, in the playoffs, he can do that. Make all the defensive plays in the world, be the leader in that locker room for a few minutes, for a few days. He can do that. But to lead a team, I don't believe he can do that. And I don't think he needs to do that. His role is perfect on that Celtics team. Keep him where he's at. You're paying him a good amount of money, but it ain't great money. You're getting him for a steal. What he brings to the game, you get him for a steal. Go out, get a starting big man, and make Tatum more of the guy running that offense. And I think Brad Stevens and company, they got something. Now, they need to realize, it's not getting any easier in the East. You got to believe Milwaukee's going to do something to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo happy. Maybe that means Chris Paul. We'll see. There's a guy by the name of Kevin Durant. And a guy by the name of Kyrie Irving. And no matter what you think about them personally and their personalities, they're really good at this thing called basketball. They'll be in Brooklyn next year and healthy. There are multiple teams. Miami will be back, the team that just beat you. They got cap room, by the way. Miami has cap room. Interesting. Other teams in the Eastern Conference that are going to have a say-so about how this thing's going to go next year. The East is getting a lot better. And Boston's going to have to make some subtle changes. That's a couple times in 3 years they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals and had tough defeats. We'll see what happens with them going forward. Again, congratulations to the Miami Heat. They're on their way to the NBA Finals that starts Wednesday, taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm out.